So here it is. I'm back. God has just been touching me in a certain way and, just making me feel like I need to inspire somebody. I need to put his word out, and I need to just tell you how the trials and tribulations will make you a stronger human being and a stronger person. Many of you haven't seen me since, the high school recruiting phase, since the 9D1 offers, before I committed to Western Michigan, and really before my journey started. So it's only right. God's been just touching me in certain ways. He's been changing things around in my life. He's been, helping me grow hair. I haven't had hair ever. I had waves since I can remember. He's deepened my faith. He's made miracles. He's shifted things around. And I just got to tell you about it. I got to come on here and just tell my story, man. Just graduated 4.5 years with my Bachelor's of Arts in General Studies, concentrating in communications, mass communications, and physical education. And honestly, this journey wasn't easy. Been at 4 different schools in 4 years. And honestly, it's just the path God, brought me down and took me on in order to keep me to remain strong and teach me certain lessons that I didn't know that, I needed to be taught. But you never know. You're never going to know the direction, the path that he's going to take you in, but your faith always has to be strong, and you got to believe that at the end of the day, in the bigger picture, he's working. He knows and he sees exactly what you can't see and exactly what your future holds. So you just got to keep faith, man. Like I mentioned earlier, I've been to 4 different schools. The road has been rocky. There's been hills, valleys, highs, lows, and honestly, I'm just grateful for it all. There was times where I was lost. There was times where I just felt like I had no support behind me. There was times where I felt looked down upon, and I felt like, a lot of people was judging me. But, the man above, he never judges. He never questions your character. He never, belittles you. He's always going to be there for you. So I knew that, and I stuck it out with him. I started my career at Western Michigan. I was a 3-star recruit out of high school, one of the biggest names in the Chicago area. I broke my leg my junior year and kind of really depleted my recruiting, but I was lucky and blessed enough to, land at a great institution like Western Michigan, FBS institution. They play in the MAC, and I honestly learned and grew a lot there. My first summer there, honestly, I felt like I had one of the best summer camps that, anybody could have put together there. Some of the notable receivers like Jaden Reed, Scott Moore. If you can ask people around my era, around that time, they'll tell you, I probably could have matched up with the best of those guys and competed, every Saturday with some of the best. But, God's plan was just a little different for me. It shifted my mentality, it shifted my thought process, and it made me mature a lot faster than, what I thought. I always had raw skill, raw athleticism, and talent, but in certain situations, that's not all you can rely on. My first season playing there, week 1, Michigan at the Big House in front of 105,000. I'm supposed to play as the only freshman, getting in the game. That Fast Friday at practice, made a couple mistakes, lost the trust of my coach. Just didn't think I was honestly ready as a freshman, although he game prepped me and planned me all week for that specific opportunity. But I jumped off sides in practice. We ran a scan huddle where, you hike the ball, you snap it, you look back to the sideline. And it's something I knew in my intuition. I knew, what was going on. I knew what I was doing, but life was just moving very fast for me. So yeah, I didn't get to play. I didn't get to play week 1. Kind of hurt me, but made me mature a lot faster than I would have if anything was given to me, or I had a little leeway given to me. So I'm glad. I'm honestly glad that happened. Fast forward to my playing career, freshman year, I saw action in maybe three games before they redshirted me. My sophomore year, I saw action in 2 games, I want to say. And, throughout that time, I was going through something mentally. I was transitioning, just in my head a lot, identity crisis, trying to figure out, why me, asking God, what can I do better? What can I improve on? And just not knowing the landscape of college football politics, and, just being a younger guy, just questioning a lot of things and wondering and thinking that, everything should be going my way, but that's not how God works. That's just not the business aspect of it. My junior year, I was lucky enough to play in 10 games, special teams. I started on 3 phases of special teams. I even started on 4 in a couple games, but he blessed me. It was my season, and I understood that. I understood the assignment that he gave me, and I carried it out to the best of my ability. Even was the special teams player of the game, 1 game, and that just gave me hope, gave me optimism to just keep pushing forward and keep seeing the greater good and what was going on around me in that system. Honestly, it was kind of hard for me because I faced 2 head coaching changes, 3 offensive coordinator changes, 3 wide receiver coaches changes. So as you can see, it was a lot of politics within the landscape going on at Western Michigan. I didn't feel like everything was totally my fault in terms of me not getting on the field. There would be another coach to come in, another OC to come in, another wide receiver coach to come in, and they just bring their guys in. They do things, they favor certain individuals, and I always wonder why. Why am I stuck in this constant realm of transitioning and being kind of left out? And that's when my faith kind of just got deeper and deeper, and I had to dig deep and really just stop feeling sorry for myself and just accepting the reality of the situation. I was blessed enough my spring season to, play as the greatest fraternity on earth, Kappa Alpha Psi, Fraternity Incorporated, I'm sorry. But like I said, it's God's will, man. Like, I never thought I would have played as Kappa. I never thought that I could endure a lot of the things that I endured. I never thought that I was strong enough, but by God's grace, you can do anything, man. Anything you put your mind to, you can do it. Literally, anything you put your mind to, you can. So like I said before, the aspect of going through 2 head coaches, 3 offensive coordinators, and 3 receivers coaches, and just a tenure at one school, it kind of did something to me, As a lot of people that are in the portal or might get in the portal know that, coaching jobs aren't solid. They aren't going to stay permanent. There can be a new coach every season, and that was the case for me. And I felt like I was a baller. I felt like I needed to bet on myself. I felt like I was one of the best receivers in the room. So I took a chance on myself. I prayed to God. I asked him, to, give me a plan, give me something to work with, give me some type of sign that I need from him in order to, make my next decision in life. And at that time, I was getting recruited by University of Northern Iowa. I decided to enter the portal. I was getting recruited by Northern Iowa and Gardner-Webb in North Carolina. And honestly, looking back at it, I probably should have went to Northern Iowa. But, the love from Gardner-Webb, really the fake love, but the initial love, the initial need for somebody, I was rocking with it. I liked, that they offered me right away. Northern Iowa I drove to Northern Iowa. They put me in a hotel. They showed me a great time. They showed me a great visit. Something Gardner-Webb wasn't, planning to do, even though, I accepted their offer anyway. But yeah, I went to Gardner-Webb for the spring 24 season. As I got there, I realized very quick that it was a business transaction. They had me playing an X when I've played the slot my whole life. I'm 5'11". I've never played outside receiver. I can play both. I'm a utility guy, but I've never solely played the X position. I've always been in the slot. My transfer portal film was in the slot. I've had numerous reps working out in the slot. I'm unguardable in the slot, in my opinion. But they put me at X, and honestly, it was to fill a void. They were waiting for a 6'4" receiver from Western Kentucky to graduate, and as soon as that spring ended, they shot him an offer. I was held on a very short leash. I don't know what the animosity was with the head coach, but yeah, it felt like he brought me in to fill a void, honestly. But tuition was free, got a free education, got a free 24 credits. So, and it made me really deep in my faith. It was a Christian-based institution in Boiling Springs, North Carolina. Wasn't very diverse, was in the middle of nowhere. But honestly, I wanted to take a chance on myself. I wanted to see what God had in store for me. So I drove to North Carolina from Chicago and started my journey there. But like I say, honestly, everything happens for a reason. You know, I was on the dean's list that semester, had a 3.85 at Gardner-Webb. Was one of the most locked in institutions that I've ever been at. You know, at Western Michigan, I was, so in my head about football that I could never be the student that I was in high school. I went to St. Rita Acacia in Chicago, Illinois. And, I was a very high achiever. Finished with a 3.67 cumulative GPA there at a private institution. And, I just really kind of got that spark back at Gardner-Webb and really got in that mindset that, I do have to balance both, and I can't be too bitter about one thing that I don't manage the other. So, that was kind of what I was facing. But that spring ended at Gardner-Webb. A lot of people that claimed that they were going to support me and help me move on to the next chapter and leave there after the spring game, they changed their mind on me. My mom didn't support me. She kind of just wanted me to stay at one institution, thought I was being impulsive, thought I was kind of just school hopping at that point. But I always knew in my mind that God had a greater good for me. I knew my abilities, I knew my talent, I knew what I could do, and I knew that really wasn't the place for me, that I didn't want to stay where I wasn't accepted. I didn't want to stay where I wasn't celebrated. So I plan to hit the portal in the spring. People changed their, support from one thing to another, so I had to stay in the summer. And honestly, it might have hurt me in terms of wanting to go back to the level that I wanted to play at, but people know that, or if you're in the portal, or if you play Division I football, you know that after that portal window closes, you cannot play NCAA football anymore. You can't, hop in the portal in the summer after going to a Division I institution. So I was scrapping. I wanted to find somewhere that I could show my self-worth, and honestly just balled out. And a lot of D2 schools were hitting me up and asking me, what's going on? What's the deal? Are you going to have eligibility? Are you, allowed to transfer? And I honestly wasn't sure. And I kind of knew the answer. I just didn't want to accept the reality that I couldn't play NCAA football anymore because the portal window had closed. So I had to accept an NAIA institution called St. Ambrose in Davenport, Iowa. And I continued my journey from there. So I went to Davenport, Iowa, and honestly, the atmosphere in Davenport was kind of unmatched. The Quad Cities is a great place to be. I would tell anybody getting, recruited by them or anyone in the area that, that might be the place to be. It's a great family environment. It's a great institution, great private institution, and, it just hit all cylinders for me in the time being and what I wanted to do in my career at that time. But going into it, my fault was probably looking at it as a JUCO year. I might have been telling people, I won't be here for long. This is JUCO season. This is temporary. And honestly, the coaches, didn't really take lightly to that. They were kind of very passive aggressive to that attitude or mindset by me. But honestly, someone coming from a D1 institution to an NAIA kind of, you got to be real with yourself as a coach and as a player. So, like I said again, it's God, man. I did what I did, and it worked out how it worked out. But a very low winning institution, low culture, not a very winning program, and honestly that showed. Played a couple games for him, and like I said, the JUCO mentality kind of kicked in with the coaches, and he thought his scheme and his technique was a lot better than the personnel that he had, honestly. And I don't understand what his thought process in that was, but that's how some people operate. But I was blessed to be there. I've had numerous great relationships, met or re-teamed with some buddies I went to high school with, or some kids that were in my area that played with me when I was a lot younger. But honestly, everything happens for a reason. Probably week 6 into the season, I break my toe. I have a very, very bad turf toe injury, to the point where the ligament was torn, and my toe was partially broken. So I couldn't really play. I couldn't do too much about that. But they rushed me back. I was practicing on a broken toe. Now that I know what it was, the diagnosis, because the trainers try to lie, the doctors try to lie, they try to get out of a medical bill, they try to get out of surgery. But essentially, I was practicing on a broken toe for 3 weeks. I knew something didn't feel right. I had to take 800 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams of practice just to, feel even okay. And even at that point, there was something, wrong. To this day, my toe still kills me. I can't do a backwards lunge, really, putting full pressure on it. But, played on a broken toe, sacrificed what I wanted to sacrifice for the team and for my well-being, for my pride, honestly. I love football. Nothing can really keep me away from the game unless I can't walk, honestly. I broke my leg my junior year in high school, snapped my tibia and my fibula in my left leg, and honestly, I'm still playing. I love the game, so I did that. Maybe a week or two later, I'm diving for a sideline pass. I stretch out, I fall on my shoulder. By the grace of God, I sprained my AC joint. Just a lot of really lucky injuries, man. And I kind of looked at it like, why me? Why is God putting me through this? And honestly, it was for the greater good of me. It was to make me stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And even in those moments, my faith got a lot deeper, and the understanding and the mission that God put me on in order to be in this certain realm just got more and more clear to me. Fast forward after that season, like I said, it was a very temporary thing. I didn't plan on staying there for too long, because the sole purpose of me being there was because I couldn't transfer to a NCAA Division I, Division II institution after, leaving Gardner-Webb in the summer, because the portal window had closed. So I was kind of stuck there. But like I said, I've learned at every institution I've been at. I've had lessons. I've talked to God deeper. I've learned things that I wouldn't have learned if things were handed to me. So I'm honestly grateful for every opportunity and every experience that I've went through. So I hop in the portal, or there's no NAIA portal, honestly. So I put my film out. I started getting recruited, and honestly, it was between McKendree or Northwestern Oklahoma State, and former player and coach Mason Myers, Jason Marjano, the OC, took a liking to my film. I had a lot of film from a lot of different universities. You can probably see that on my YouTube page. I'm going to upload it, just to show you a little, bit of background and experience about, how I play and how I move. But yeah, he gave me the opportunity of a lifetime. At that point, I was kind of down and out. A lot of people didn't want to take a chance on somebody who had transferred 3 times. They didn't want to take a chance on a what if, a possibility kid, a kid that's, getting older at this point. I'm not a young kid anymore. I'm 21 years old, about to be 22, and I'm transitioning. I'm trying to get to another school. So I don't have a young body, although I am a young body. But the sports world. I'm not 18 or 19, so it's a little bit hard to get recruited after you left 2 institutions and didn't really produce like you wanted to produce. And that was heavy on my mind. I mean, that recruiting cycle in spring 25 was very hectic, honestly. You know, I was eager to just get to any institution that wanted me. I just wanted to play football. I wanted to show the world and show myself that I could still be the same player that, you know, had 9 Division I offers, that, you know, had Boston College as his first offer his sophomore year, that, you know, is very explosive with the ball in his hands, that has the ability to take the ball to the house anytime he touches it. So I just wanted to show that and put that on display. But like I said, God, he works in mysterious ways, man. I got the call from Coach Myers. You know, he wanted me to come down to Oklahoma, Alva, Oklahoma, you know, be a Ranger. And I jumped on the opportunity. You know, I didn't really need to hear anything else. I jumped on the opportunity. I was so blessed and so grateful for another opportunity to play football and to prolong my college career and earn my degree that I jumped on the opportunity. And honestly, it was the best decision I've ever made in my life. This past season, you know, had a pretty productive season. Had about 200 yards. I missed 3 games. Had about 250 return yards. I was a starting kick returner, punt returner, kickoff, gunner, and I started on punt as a gunner. So I started on all 4 special teams, and I started on offense at slot. So honestly, I couldn't ask for a better situation, man. And God just continued to bless me in ways that, you know, I couldn't imagine. You know, week 5, I had to miss 3 games. Week 5, I tore ligament to my ankle. You know, that's when I was beginning to question myself. Like, God, like, every year it's always something, you know, starting from high school, starting from my junior year, breaking my leg, going to, you know, Ambrose, breaking my toe, severing my AC joint, coming here, you know, tearing ligaments in my ankle, and then coming back 3 games later and, you know, spraining my clavicle. I fell on my clavicle against the Ouachita Baptist, sprained my clavicle, was out for a week or so. The clavicle probably even hurt more than the AC joint. But it's all in God's plan, to be honest. It's all what he's written for me. You know, like I said, I wasn't very productive, wasn't crazy productive because of those injuries and missing 3 or 4 games due to injury, but ask anybody, you know, whenever I touched the ball, whenever my name popped up on the screen, you knew it. Whenever I returned the kick, you knew it. Whenever I caught a bubble or a pass across the middle, it's very explosive. I'm making 1 to 2 guys miss at minimum. And honestly, it's just a testament of God and the skill set that he's given me and the strength and resilience that he's, you know, put in my life and built me with and through, that just tells me to keep going. And by the grace of God, you know, I have 1 more season of college football to play. Like, throughout all the stories I told you, all the universities that I've listed and mentioned to you, like, I still have 1 more season this fall to play. I have a graduate season. So, like, it's all about opportunity and what God has for you, man. You gotta keep faith and stay strong and dig deep into your word and not go solely based off what you see on the internet and how other people's lives and experience have went. Like, you gotta run your own race. And what I tell myself when I tell a lot of my friends is that it's a marathon, not a race. And based off my story, it should just show you that it's truly a marathon, bro. Like, you can do anything you put your mind to. I didn't think I would be a noob. I didn't think that I would be able to go through what, you know, you go through to do certain things, to, in that aspect, to be a part of that fraternity. I didn't think that, you know, I could leave Western Michigan, go to Gardner-Webb, go to St. Ambrose, come to Northwestern Oklahoma State and still have faith and have, you know, just an urge to play and better myself, honestly. And as I, get older and as I transition into my professional career and life after football, if that's God willing, I'm looking into athletic administration. I'm pursuing my master's now in adult education management and sports administration. And I'm on a path to graduate in spring 27. So I'll have my master's before I turn 24. And honestly, every single experience and thing that I've went to up to this point to build me into the man that I've become has been worth it. God has a plan for everybody. A lot of people get caught up on looking at other people's progress and looking at other people's social medias and what they put out and the good things that they put out. But in all reality, it's about you. Worry about you. Focus on you. Focus on your relationship with God and keep building it. Because God's always going to keep putting people in your corner that make you stronger, that can correlate and relate to you in different ways and touch you in different ways. Just being at Northwestern Oklahoma State, I've met people that have strengthened my faith, that have, showed me that certain things and certain people are put in your life for a reason, man. And I thank God for that. I'm blessed every day to wake up. I'm blessed every day to get in my car. I'm blessed every day to go to the field and work out again. I'm blessed every day to be able to be named a team leader and a captain. Like, those are things that you can't take for granted. And honestly, I don't know where I would be without God, without my faith, without belief, and without consistent just prayer. And that's just why I want to inspire you by telling you, this story of 4 different colleges in 4 years, because anything is possible, man. Like, anything is possible. And I say that, not as cliche, bro. Like, after hearing all that, you can't think it's cliche. You can't think it's coincidence. It's real life. So to that kid in his dorm room right now, to that college freshman, to that administrator, to that mom, to that dad, to that aunt, to that uncle watching, who's ever watching, I just want to tell you to keep faith. And that this life is a marathon, not a race. It doesn't matter where you start. It matters where God places you to finish. It truly does, man. I just hope this video touched you guys. I just wanted to give you guys a little recap and a kind of an update on my life, because I haven't been on YouTube in maybe 5 years, and just God was just telling me this is the right time. This is the time to inspire people. This is the time to be inspired. I've been watching Pastor Mike McClure on YouTube, endlessly, and on TikTok, because I'm inspired. I've been hanging around my coach, Coach Chandler, Coach Martin, a lot of guys that just inspired me to be a better person, inspired me to do good in the world, inspired me to put out good and positive energy no matter how people treat you or no matter how people look at you. Put out good energy. You're going to get good energy back. And no matter if they don't give good energy back, God can see it, and God knows. He knows ultimately what's going on. So I just want to say, thank you for watching. God bless everybody, and whatever path you're on in life, it's not by coincidence. It's not by coincidence. It's by God's will. And the more you keep prayer and keep connecting with Him and keep talking to Him, it'll get more and more clear for you, as it did for me.